Hey guys, I'm Brother Man. I'm here to tell you a little bit about 3 a.m. 3 a.m. is short for Three Angels Messengers, and we are out sharing the message of the three angels found in Revelation 14. In those messages, it goes to every tribe, tongue, kindred, people around the world, and it's a message that's very important for last day events. And so I have a group of friends that have started this organization. I'm a part of it. I am the vice president of the local chapter here in San Antonio. And our whole goal is to make sure that every tribe hears this message. And what we have noticed is there's a tribe that had been neglected by the church even, not on purpose, but it's just one that hadn't been reached yet. So we took it upon ourselves to say, hey, let's reach out to this tribe known as motorcyclists. And motorcycle enthusiast is what we are. All of us, we enjoy riding, and we enjoy the life that Jesus has given us. So we're out to share that with others. And we know there's other groups. There are many other groups that are sharing who God is. Now, we have a distinct message that we can share about the Lord, about end-time events, and I believe it'll bless everybody. But we're not in competition with anybody else. That's not what we're about. We're just trying to get this message out and at the same time enjoy the ride. So Jesus said, I've come that they might have life, that they might have it more abundantly. And so we're trying to share that with everybody while we're enjoying life. Now I want to share with you a couple things here real quickly about what Jesus said about his church. And it's interesting. The church is big. It's not a building. It is the people. And so one thing he did say to Peter, after Peter made that confession there in Matthew 16, if you have a Bible here, you can look at Matthew 16. And Peter had said that, Jesus is the Christ. And so Jesus responds to that confession and he says, hey, that's right. And on that confession, on this rock, I will build my called out ones, my church. All right, I'll build that. And then he goes on and he says a very interesting little statement. And he says, the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Now, when you think of a gate, at least when I think of a gate, I think of back in the day around the country area I grew up in, gates were made for keeping things in or keeping them out. So what is Jesus saying? He's saying that hell will not stop his people. We have a mission. We are empowered by the Spirit of God to go in and get his people. And that is our mission. And so at 3 a.m., that's what we're doing. We are going in literally to the gates of hell. And we are finding people, men and women, who have been held captive by those gates, been held in by the enemy, and we're going out and we're finding them. Now, another thing that's interesting about what Jesus did, and one of the stories here you'll find in Matthew 14. If you remember this story, it was real interesting that Jesus, he made his disciples get into the boat. And when they're going out across this Sea of Galilee, the Bible tells us that the wind started blowing this boat all over the place, and they started freaking out. But not so much freaking out until they saw Jesus. It says, it's verse 25, 14:25 of Matthew. It says, in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went to them walking on the sea. Now, this isn't a trick by David Blaine or Chris Angel or any of those. This is literal. He was walking on water. Mark's version tells us that he would have passed them by. That's pretty wild. All right, but even today, reading this, I'm like, man, I don't know what I would do. If I saw somebody walking on water and I'm out in the middle of the water, I'd probably do just like the disciples did. They probably screamed, and they thought it was a ghost. And they cried out for fear, is what the Bible says. And then Jesus says, hey, man, chill out. Be of good cheer. It's me. And then Peter does something. He says, Lord, if it's you, command me to come out of this boat and come to you. We always give Peter a lot of flack for things. He did. He opened his mouth a lot and he always inserted his foot. And, we can see that as we look at his life. But out of all the disciples, he's the only one that got out of the boat. Now that's interesting, guys. He got out of this boat. The boat would represent our comfort zone. And this guy got out. And then the Bible says something. Jesus says, come. And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on water. I mean, that is a trip. He's walking on water. And most of the time, we always try to say that, hey, he's going like, hey, look at me, looking back at the disciples. But if you read an extra biblical source called Desire of Ages, it says there that a wave actually came between Jesus and him. And when he lost sight of Jesus, he lost his confidence. Now, I think that's something for us. We need to take that to heart. Keep our eyes focused on Jesus. Or we will lose heart. It's true. I mean, I've seen it in my own walk. I'm sure you have too. So here, the moment he lost contact with Jesus, looking at him visibly, he begins to sink. And he cries out to Jesus again, and Jesus comes over there and grabs him and, pulls him back up, puts him in the boat, and it says immediately they're at the other side. So some pretty interesting things here. Now, the one thing I want to back up and share with you is the Bible said it was at the fourth watch when this took place. Fourth watch begins at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. until right before sunrise. It's the coldest part of the night. And if you look up 3 a.m. on the internet, you'll find that some people try to call 3 a.m., the time, the devil's hour, because most deaths occur at 3 a.m. Probably because the bars close at 2, and they're out, tipsy. So, but nevertheless, 3 a.m., it has the statistics to back it up that a lot of deaths happen. But it's the coldest part of the night. It's the darkest part of the night. Now, wouldn't it be fitting to go back to what Jesus said? The gates of hell will not prevail against his people. We will go in and get his people. Even at the darkest of night, the coldest of night, the enemy cannot stop the Spirit of God that is upon his people. So this is what our mission is at 3 a.m. 3 angels messengers. Our mission is to go in and find them. Grab them. Share this message with them. But we're befriending them. It's not in your face. It's because we love you. We'll share with you. If you want to know, if you want to learn. And knowledge is power. Everybody recognizes that. So we're having fun. We're enjoying this journey. And we're inviting anybody. If you'd like to join us on this, then let us know. Contact us on our webpage and we'll see which chapter's near you and we'll get you started. From here in San Antonio, this is Brother Man welcoming you, inviting you. Let's finish this work. Let's finish this mission. Let's get it over with and let's go home.